Breaking news! No one saw this coming, just when fans were obsessing over who the Browns would take with the second overall pick, whether it be a dual-threat player like Travis Hunter, a defensive juggernaut like Abdul Carter, or even a surprise quarterback. A low-key move has started to generate serious discussion. We're going to break this down and more, so hit the like button and join this channel that keeps you always well-informed. Let's go! Now, why is this name causing a stir in Browns Nation? Because analysts believe the Browns could decide to sign the star running back from Tennessee during the third day of the 2025 NFL Draft. That's right, not day 1, not day 2, day 3. And yet, this is a player who just accumulated more than 1,600 yards of offense and 22 total touchdowns in 2024 alone. That's no fluke. It's a remarkable season. Dylan Sampson isn't just another prospect buried in a solid running back class. He's someone who made the Volunteers tick, someone who helped Tennessee win 19 games in 2 years and make the college football playoffs last season. So here's where things get intriguing. The Browns didn't bring back Nick Chubb. That's a big emotional hit for the fan base and a practical void for the offense. Jerome Ford has been filling in admirably, sure, but is he truly ready to be the full-time featured back? That's still a question mark. Pierre Strong Jr. is in the mix, but the backfield lacks depth and explosiveness. Kevin Stefanski is resuming play calling this season, and all signs point to a more run-oriented offensive identity. That means the running back position isn't just a need, it's a potential pivot point for how this team wins games. Enter Dylan Sampson, a 5'11", dual-threat weapon out of the SEC. If Reuters' mock is on point and Sampson falls to Cleveland in the 4th round, it could be a game-changer. But here's the kicker, Sampson is already being discussed as a 3rd-round talent. That means Cleveland will need some luck, or maybe even some aggressive maneuvering, to make this scenario happen. And it's worth the gamble. Just look at the tape. He's shifty, explosive, smart in space, and a legitimate receiving threat out of the backfield. He's exactly the kind of chess piece that could give Stefanski's offense a new edge. But don't let the attention on the running back distract you from the biggest fork in the road this franchise has faced in years. What do the Browns do with that number 2 overall pick? Hanford Dixon, a voice that still resonates with fans across the Dawg Pound, is all in on defense. He's not just saying defensive help would be nice. He's demanding the Browns grab Penn State's Abdul Carter and pair him up with Myles Garrett. Imagine that for a second, Myles on one end, Carter on the other. You want to talk about terrorizing opposing quarterbacks? Dixon is already dreaming of the all-pro seasons that secondary players could have simply by virtue of playing behind those two. Carter's resume speaks for itself. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, 68 tackles, 12 sacks, led Penn State to the CFP. He's got the size, he's got the numbers, and he's got the attitude to elevate a defense that's already primed to explode with just a little more help. And yet, despite Dixon's vocal push, the Browns are heavily linked to Travis Hunter. Now, this is where things get wild. Hunter isn't just your average elite athlete. He's trying to do something rare, even unheard of in the modern NFL. He wants to play both wide receiver and cornerback at the next level. Think about what that means. That's a single draft pick that could impact both sides of the ball every Sunday. Hunter just won the Heisman in 2024. He's not just hype, he's production, versatility, and a potential marketing dream. If the Browns take him at number 2, they're swinging for the fences. It's a high-ceiling, high-risk move that could make Cleveland one of the most dynamic teams in the league, or leave them open to criticism if it doesn't pan out. Meanwhile, while all this top-pick talk is brewing, there's another layer to this drama. The quarterback situation. Deshaun Watson is out, again, with a second Achilles tear in just 3 months. That's devastating news for a team that thought they had their future locked in at the position. So what now? Joe Flacco is back. Kenny Pickett is on the roster. But neither of them screams long-term solution. Which is why the name Jackson Dart is popping up in all the right places. Ian Cummings from Pro Football Network sees the Browns making a bold move, trading back into the 1st round to nab Dart with the 30th pick, sending picks 33, 94, and a 2026 second-rounder to the Bills in the process. It's a steep price, no doubt. But Dart is a Stefanski fit. Tough, mobile, and capable of those layered intermediate throws that the scheme demands. If the Browns make this trade, they're telling the world that they believe Dart could be their guy for the next decade. Now add a wild card into the mix, Sam Howell. He's rough, sure, with 21 interceptions last year, but there's talent there. Maybe just enough to give him a shot behind center if things go sideways early in the year. It's a low-risk, medium-reward kind of gamble that the Browns might not be able to resist. With all of these changes in play, Cleveland is headed into one of its most pivotal drafts in years. Every decision, from who to draft at number 2 to whether to take a quarterback in the first round or trade lineman Wyatt Teller for cap space, has long-term implications. What do you think, Browns fans? Should the team go all in on Dylan Sampson? Is Travis Hunter the future? Or is Abdul Carter the guy to build a championship defense around? Let us know in the comments. And let's not forget the biggest elephant in the room, Wyatt Teller. The veteran offensive lineman, once one of the league's most dominant playmakers, is now a potential trade piece. He still has value, no doubt, but the Browns are looking at a $14.175 million salary cap hit next season if they keep him. Chris Shad and Sterling Sia have both hinted at a move, and it's not hard to see why. Dallas just lost future Hall of Famer Zach Martin. Seattle and Minnesota are desperate for interior offensive line help. Teller could walk into either of those locker rooms and start week 1. So what happens if the Browns trade him? They free up cap space, perhaps to invest in younger talent, perhaps to prepare for a future move. But they also signal something deeper, a willingness to redefine key areas of the roster to align with a new offensive identity under Stefanski, especially if a young quarterback like Dart or even Howell is coming in. Protecting the pocket becomes a different priority when you're preparing a future starting quarterback. And if Teller is seen as part of the old guard, both literally and figuratively, the timing of a trade makes sense. Now imagine the dominoes. Cleveland uses the number 2 pick on Hunter, immediately creating waves around the league to draft a player who wants to go both ways. They pack up their day 2 draft capital and reach late in round 1 to secure Jackson Dart, a move that clearly says we're building something long-term here. Then, on day 3, they land Dylan Sampson, giving them a dynamic, cost-effective weapon in the backfield. If they also trade Teller for another mid-round pick or player, the roster suddenly looks younger, faster, and more prepared for the future. But none of this is guaranteed. Every scenario we've laid out depends on precise timing, calculated risks, and a little luck in how the score plays out. The Browns could easily go in a completely different direction. But here's the thing, we're not going into the 2025 draft with just hope. We're going into it with options. And that's something this team hasn't had in a long time. So that's where you come in, Browns fans. This draft could reshape the franchise. Do you trust the front office to make these changes? Would you trade for Jackson Dart? Would you bet on Travis Hunter's potential? Would you trade Wyatt Teller and bring in Dylan Sampson as the backfield of the future? Let us know what you think in the comments. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. Go Browns!